Well, Donald Trump's legal woes don't appear to be dimming his White House ambition. Since his first arraignment here in New York earlier this spring, he has solidified his lead in the 2024 GOP race.
And tonight, we're taking a look at where he stands as a GOP frontrunner. Fox 5's Sharon Crowley joins us now with a look at how other candidates in the race might be looking to challenge him. Sharon.
Yeah, Natasha and Steve, this former President Trump is still way ahead in the polls, as you know, of his Republican rivals. His GOP competitors are repeatedly also asked about Trump and Trump's legal troubles. So how would another Republican candidate break through? Well, I spoke with a political analyst and author who has some ideas.
Just hours after former President Donald Trump pled not guilty to federal charges of mishandling classified documents, the defendant pivoting back to candidate. First stopping to press the flesh with supporters at a Cuban cafe and later revving up the crowd in Bedminster, New Jersey.
They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom.
A master at marketing, Trump, despite his legal troubles, still leads his Republican rivals in the polls.
Donald Trump has had approximately a third, say 30 to 35% of the Republican electorate locked in. They are for him. They're not looking for anyone else. They don't want to vote for anyone else.
The more Republican candidates in the race, the better the odds for Trump. So how can any other Republican knock Trump out of the lead? Steve Adubato is an author and political analyst.
I would argue that there's only one way to do this, which is to take Donald Trump down in a public debate, going after him and doing it in a way where he looks weak, where he begins to back away, where he doesn't have that bravado.
Candidates might not get that chance. Adubato doesn't think Trump will participate in a debate if he's still ahead. Some in the pack think publicly offering a pardon to Trump might lure his supporters away.
But as long as he's in the race, saying that you would pardon him is not going to get you his votes.
Even though Trump appears to be using his legal battles to his advantage now, this strategy could easily become a liability.
The more this race is seen about Donald Trump running just for Donald Trump, and the campaign is really about his criminal trial, and the criminal trial is really about the campaign, I believe it potentially causes a problem for Donald Trump, particularly with more candidates in the race.
Well, former President Trump's legal troubles are far from over. There are still investigations underway into his role in trying to overturn the Georgia elections and his influence ahead of the Capitol riots. Steve and Natasha.
Well, all right, thanks, Sharon.